It had been a long day, and I was looking forward to finally unwinding for the night. My husband, David, was out of town on a business trip, leaving me alone in the house with his 17-year-old son, Ryan. It wasn't unusual for David to travel for work, and I had gotten used to managing things on my own whenever he was away. Ryan had always been a respectful and independent teenager, mostly keeping to himself in his room, playing video games, or hanging out with his friends online. That night, I went through my usual bedtime routine, feeling exhausted but relieved that I could finally relax. The house was quiet except for the occasional sounds of Ryan's video game coming from down the hall. I figured he was still up, but I didn't think much of it. I had taken a shower earlier and was now getting dressed for bed, assuming I had all the privacy I needed in my own bedroom. Just as I pulled my nightshirt over my head, the door to my bedroom suddenly creaked open. My heart jumped, and I instinctively grabbed the nearest piece of clothing to cover myself. I turned around, startled, and saw Ryan standing there, his face frozen in shock. "Oh my God. I'm so sorry," he stammered, his eyes wide with embarrassment as he quickly turned his head away. "Ryan, what are you doing?" I exclaimed, my voice sharp with both surprise and frustration. I didn't know you were changing. I swear. I was looking for my headphones," he said, his words rushed as he fumbled to explain himself. I could feel my pulse racing, but as I processed the situation, I realized it wasn't intentional. Ryan wasn't the type of kid to do something inappropriate. He looked genuinely horrified and regretful, his entire posture stiff with discomfort. I took a deep breath, trying to calm myself before responding. "Ryan, you need to knock before coming into my room. Especially at night," I said firmly, making sure he understood. I know. I wasn't thinking. I'm really sorry," he muttered, still not looking at me as he quickly backed out of the room and shut the door behind him. For a few moments, I stood there, my heart still pounding from the sudden intrusion. But as the shock wore off, I realized it had been an innocent mistake. Ryan wasn't a little kid anymore, he was a teenager who was still learning boundaries. And honestly, it wasn't entirely his fault. I should have locked the door. The next morning, as I made breakfast, I noticed Ryan was unusually quiet. Normally, he would come into the kitchen, grab some food, and mumble a half-awake morning before going back to his room. But today, he hesitated in the doorway, looking unsure of himself. I decided to break the tension first. "Hey," I said, placing a plate of scrambled eggs and toast on the counter for him. "Let's just forget about last night, okay? Just be more careful next time." He looked relieved but still a little embarrassed. "Yeah, I will. Thanks for not making it a big deal," he said, sitting down and starting to eat. I smiled and ruffled his hair lightly, something I used to do when he was younger. "It's all good, Ryan. We all make mistakes." From that day on, Ryan was much more careful about knocking before entering any room. And I made sure to lock my door at night, just in case. It was an awkward moment, sure, but in the end, it was just that, a moment. And life went on as usual.